Right, it's a Saturday, which means it was a hair oil day, and I'm breaking down this blood work. Actually, on request of a client who I saw last month, and she was very keen on me making this a video so that she can come back to it as a reminder. Let's look at a thyroid panel because, as we have discussed it in the previous videos, how important thyroid is. My client is 46 years old and she is menopausal already. I wouldn't know if she's postmenopausal because I think it's been less than a year that she hasn't gotten her period. So she's on the borderline postmenopausal, menopausal. Her TSH is 0.02 at this stage. Regardless of you are perimenopausal or postmenopausal, the ideal TSH value is between 1 to 2. I think we discussed this in the previous video. In her case, because it's 0.02, it's critically suppressed. This is definitely not a healthy hypothyroid state. It is combined with low T3, which signals that her pituitary is essentially switched off. Your TSH is a pituitary hormone, it's not a thyroid hormone. It's a precursor to making your thyroid hormone. So because TSH is 0.02, it's indicating her pituitary gland status. And it is likely switched off because of the autoimmune disruption or prolonged thyroid dysfunction, which was not addressed in the past. If you scroll down to previous videos, I have discussed about how thyroid is critical at every stage of a woman's life, whether she is in her adolescence or she is postpartum or she's peri or postmenopause. Refer to that video. A TSH this low, which is 0.02, is associated with also accelerated bone loss, which is critical in a postmenopausal woman. Her free T3 is at 1.07. Ideal range should be anywhere between 3.5 to 4.2. This is devastatingly low in her case. T3 is the only thyroid hormone that actually works at the cellular level. If you remember, this is the active form of your thyroid hormone, and in her case, it is essentially absent, which will definitely affect her hair follicle signaling, and this explains also fatigue, hair loss, metabolic slowdown, and poor mood, far more than TSH alone ever would. If I have to look at her T4, it is at 1.4. This is technically within the range, but it's still sitting at the upper end. So T4 in isolation might look possible. The problem is what happens next, which is the conversion, because T4 is the inactive form. Her thyroglobulin antibody is 19. It should be less than 4. This confirms autoimmune activity against the thyroid tissue. Her thyroglobulin Ig is 119. Ideally should be less than 20. Significantly elevated. A very sensitive marker. It shows that the active immune attack on thyroid tissue is ongoing. Her thyroglobulin is at 5.2, which should ideally be between 1.5 to 3. This one looks fine. Let's look at her hormonal panel, and I'm going to run through it because we're running out of time. I don't keep my videos more than 7 minutes. Her estradiol is E2, which is 27 picogram per milliliter. Now, for a woman who is postmenopausal, and I think she is on HRT, I'm not sure if she's taking the estradiol patch, but if she was, who's not on HRT, the ideal expected range would be anywhere between 10 to 20. Ideal for optimal health symptom management on HRT would be anywhere between 50 to 100. So even if she is on the patch, it is still very, very low. There is no hair protection, no bone protection, no cardiovascular protection, no skin integrity. Please remember, your estrogen is as much in your ovaries as much as it is in the muscle. It's in the bone. It is responsible for your cognition. So in her case, if she was optimally managed on bioidentical HRT, I would want her closer to 60 to 80 in this case. Her FSH is 51.4, ideal for confirmed menopause, postmenopause. It's usually more than 30 for a postmenopausal woman, so the number itself is diagnostically expected. Ideally, functionally, FSH high signals that the brain is screaming at ovaries that are completely unresponsive. The higher the FSH, the more desperately the pituitary is failing, and even though it's trying, it's failing. And at 51.4, the ovarian reserve technically seems to have gone. Progesterone less than 0.5, again, it's completely flat. If she was on bioidenticals, it would be anywhere between 2 to 10. And I think she is on her HRT, but clearly it's not working. Progesterone alone has neuroprotective, anti-inflammatory, hair supportive roles, which means in her case it is absent, and this matters critically. Her fasting insulin is 15.1. Ideal should be a single digit number. Anywhere between 3 to 7 is ideal, which you should be looking at. In her case, it's almost double. Her random glucose again confirms it. It's 166 milligram per deciliter. Ideally should be anywhere between 70 to 85. Definitely a frank type 2 diabetes or prediabetes in the severe zone. HDL 37. It's critically low. Her cholesterol is 244, which is quite elevated in isolation, and the ratio of cholesterol to HDL is 6.6 is to 1. Ideally, this should be 3.5 is to 1. In her case, this is nearly double the acceptable limit. Her ALT is 46.2, adrenal stress, where cortisol is at 9.1, her micronutrients, ferritin at 60.46. And if you have been following me, you know we need ferritin at least 80 if we want good hair health. Vitamin D at 39.1, again, at least 80 is what is functional if you want good hair. I'll put the summary snapshot in the description box below so you can refer to the ideal values which you should be expecting in postmenopause. And does not mean that if you're postmenopausal you have to suffer. You can live a very thriving life if you manage your symptoms and control these values to a functional level. I'm gonna leave this video at here, but her protocol needs to be addressed in not just one way, but there are at least 8 pathways that are simultaneously affecting her hair growth, because hair growth has about 18 pathways. In her case alone, 8 are borderline flat. So for her case, the protocol will be very, very different. I'll probably break this down in terms of protocol in my upcoming videos, but for now, the snapshot of the ideal value range would help some of you.